There's something ancient in the woods. Something that doesn't just hunt you. It waits for you to lose yourself. It waits for the moment you're alone, cold and desperate. And once it finds you, there's no escape. This is the story of my encounter with the Wendigo, and why I'll never step foot in those woods again. The setting, it started as a solo trip into the Boundary Waters, deep in the wild borderlands between Minnesota and Canada. I'd been camping for years, but this time I wanted to push further than I ever had before. The weather was early winter cold. Not snowstorm cold, but the kind that bites into your fingertips the second you take off your gloves. The trees were tall, black silhouettes against a pale sky. No cell service, no nearby roads. Just me, the frozen lakes, and the sound of my own breathing. The locals in town had given me the usual warnings about wolves, moose, sudden storms. But one old man, the kind with eyes that had seen too much, pulled me aside. "You hear something calling your name out there. You don't answer. Doesn't matter if it sounds like your own mother. Doesn't matter if it's your best friend. You keep walking." I laughed it off at the time, but I'd remember those words later, when it was too late. First signs, the first day was uneventful. I set up camp near a half-frozen creek, built a small fire, ate in silence. But that night, somewhere out in the darkness, I heard it. A faint crunch of snow. Slow. Deliberate. At first, I thought it was a deer, maybe even a wolf keeping its distance. But then, the steps stopped, and I swear I could hear breathing. Long, slow, ragged breaths, like something had been running for miles, but wasn't tired. When I shone my flashlight toward the tree line, there was nothing. Just shadows. The scent, the next morning, I noticed something strange. The air smelled wrong. Not like the sharp freshness of pine and cold air. This was foul. Sweet, almost, like rotting meat that had been left in the sun. It lingered, no matter where I walked. The tracks I found were worse. Huge impressions in the snow, long strides, but with a shape I couldn't place. Not quite human, not quite animal. I should have turned back. But something in me, call it pride, call it stupidity, pushed me deeper into the woods. Lore of the Wendigo. That night, as I sat by the fire, I remembered the old stories. The Algonquian peoples, Cree, Ojibwe, and others, speak of the Wendigo, a spirit of hunger, greed, and endless cold. Once human, it's said to be born when a person turns to cannibalism in the wilderness. Their soul twists, their body stretches, and they become a creature driven only by hunger. The Wendigo is tall, impossibly tall, with sunken eyes and skin stretched tight over bones. And worst of all, it mimics voices. The voice, it was close to midnight when I heard it. From deep in the forest, just beyond the reach of my firelight, came a voice. "Hello?" It sounded weak, like someone injured. "Ah, please, help." I grabbed my flashlight, but the old man's words came rushing back. "Don't answer. Keep walking." So I stayed still. The voice came again, but this time it was my brother's voice. The one I hadn't seen in months. "It's me. Come here." Every instinct told me to run toward it. But something inside me, something primal, screamed, "No." The shape in the trees. When the wind shifted, I saw it. Tall. Too tall. Its head was just visible above the tree branches. Its limbs were impossibly thin, yet it moved with a horrible grace. The skin was pale, almost gray, stretched tight across its bones. And the mouth? It looked too wide, filled with teeth too sharp for anything human. It swayed slightly like it was listening. The chase. The moment I stood, it turned its head, fast, unnatural. And then it moved. It didn't run like an animal or a person. It was jerky, loping, almost like a spider. I grabbed my pack and ran, not daring to look back. The snow crunched loudly beneath my boots, but behind me, there was no sound. It was silent. Too silent. The whispers, after what felt like hours, I stumbled into a clearing. My legs burned, my lungs ached. I couldn't hear it anymore, but the smell, that sweet, rotten stench, was stronger than ever. Then the whisper came, right next to my ear. So hungry. I spun around, but there was nothing. Nothing but the dark, endless forest. The final sight, I made it back to my tent just before dawn. I packed everything in minutes, ready to leave. But as I turned to zip my pack, I saw it, standing at the edge of the trees. It didn't move, didn't blink, just watched me with hollow eyes. And then it smiled. Not a human smile. Not even close. I ran. Aftermath, I don't go into those woods anymore. Sometimes, though, when the wind's just right, I hear a voice. It's my brother's voice. Hey, it's me. Come here. And I know it's still out there, waiting.